Have I found my new golf brand for 2022 when it comes to building the bag? Let's have a look. So the AP2s collectively for £450. So I played with them all year and then sold them for £200 profit. Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. It's Simon down here at Lower Hennick driving range. It's that time of year. 5 o'clock hits, it's pitch black and there's only one place I can make a video, here or a simulator, and today we're going to be talking about the brand that's caught my eye. Something a bit different. It's not necessarily a unknown brand, but not many people, especially in the UK, fit for it, have it in the bag, buy it, sell it, you name it, which means it's great when it comes to the second-hand market. It actually featured in my top 5 underrated irons, and in my last video I found a brand new set which won't be going into the bag, but I did say I love the look of. Now that I'm going into winter, it's a great time to keep an eye out on the brand that I envisage having in my bag so that I can get it as a great deal, because if I don't get it as a great deal, it won't be going in. And I'm of course talking about Srixon. I've actually had this feature in a few videos now, especially in my most recent video where I acquired a set of ZX5s, pretty much brand new, and I just said that how good the irons actually looked, and now I've come across the utility iron as well. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know I've loved a Srixon driving iron. That's how I build my bag. It has to go around the driving iron, and Srixon in the past I've had some of the best driving irons, and therefore it makes sense to try the irons and then going into the wedges, because if you didn't know, Srixon owns Cleveland as well, so it kind of makes sense. And I don't know why I haven't thought about this brand before. I'm going to give the Srixon ZX utility driving iron a hit. It's actually got a graphite shaft and it's a 4, so it won't be making it into the bag. And that's why also Srixon's a great brand, because you can get outrageous deals, because, well, until I post this video, I've just made it a lot harder to build my bag. Until now, not many people are looking on eBay auctions, so you can kind of snag them up, or potentially Facebook, or potentially Gumtree. I'm not saying there's a mass amount there. As I say, if loads of people aren't putting them in the bag, there's not going to be loads of them second hand like you would see with TaylorMade, Titleist and all the big name brands. But when that does pop up and you get a late night auction, or you get a bit early on a Facebook bid, for example, you can snag yourself a nice set. And whether it's these or the alternatives, which will obviously show you in this video, I think it will make a very interesting and good looking bag for 2022. That being said, I do believe this range of Srixon irons that have come out far surpass anything they've brought out in terms of aesthetics. The Srixon Forge iron I think looks great, and then potentially just a combo set for me with the ZX7s. They're modern, they're clean, they're good looking, they're everything that I'd want from a set of irons. As I say, the fact that I can then blend it into a driving iron at the top of the bag as well as my Cleveland wedges, it all just seems to make sense to me. If you like this video, leave it a like, subscribe if you're new. Let's go and hit some shots into the night sky, shall we? So I've hit a few shots with the utility iron, and it's as forgiving as the older ones that I've had in the past, the U65, the U85. I'm glad Srixon have changed their names, by the way. It's been so confusing in the past. I think for anyone that just signed the game, to distinguish what year it came out, what head design, you got the 765, 825, 945, XYZ. Basically you needed a degree in algebra to understand what model, what year, what price point these clubs were coming out. So I'm glad it's simplified somewhat. So you got the 5, or should I say the ZX5, then it goes into ZX7, slightly less forgiving. You got the ZZ4, which is the most forgiving, and then obviously you got the ZX, which is just a utility iron, as well as the Z Forged, which is the blade. So a bit more simple. I didn't make that simple when I did my explanation, but it's a bit more simple. Overall, I think aesthetics is great, and they've kept all the performance that I found from the utility iron back in the day. But what about the woods, which is a great question, and I don't think I'll be going for Srixon when it comes to the woods, mainly because I don't think the Srixon driver looks any good whatsoever. And also my PXG I'm kind of in love with. It's been pretty much one of my strongest clubs in the bag, probably until the last couple of weeks or so. One of the strongest clubs in the bag, and obviously I've got to work on my technique to get that sorted. But in terms of the way it's weighted and the way it feels, obviously I've got it 250 brand new. I know loads of you picked up on that £200 brand deal when it came to PXG over the summer, £205 for the 0211, and potentially we might see what Christmas brings. Maybe we might see some new releases of PXG and then the older ones getting auctioned off, and if it does, I will probably put a 3-wood or 5-wood in the bag. I know that I'm not going to change the PXG, and I know my Srixon's going to be the 2 iron, so it's questioning what fairway wood would I put in that slot, and that is to be determined. What is known is that my irons are going to be Strixon. As I said before, I love the look, I love the brand, and it's something different. And then down the bottom, Cleveland RTX wedges, again in my underrated section. And I think it's important that my bag is filled with clubs that I'm putting in my underrated list, whether it's in the iron section or the wood section or whatever it might be. I feel like I've got to live by my word, so that's why the RTX 4s, which I think would be a good price when it comes to Christmas. I think you go get a decent one of these for £40 each in really good condition. And I think £100 to £120 on a wedge set of that kind of caliber is a must. And obviously blending it into the Strixon irons, I think it's going to look quite nice. Now, as I say, I don't normally recommend going this modern when clubs firstly come out because it's very competitive, and to be honest, you're still going to lose more and more retail value. But as I said at the start of this video, I like the look of the irons, and I think it's a fun, unique challenge. I don't think too many people this winter are going to be looking for Strixon clubs, which means when that auction finishes at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll be able to get a decent set, or I'll find it on Facebook or Gumtree. The interesting thing I like about this challenge is that I'm telling you guys now what I'm going to put in the bag. I don't know what price. It's going to be low. I mean, the AP2s, 718s that I built my bag with at the start of this year, that was £250 for 3 to pitching wedge, which is a great price. And I'm hoping I'm going to get a set of 4 to pitching wedge of these for a similar price, £250 to £300, meaning that when I come at the end of this year, just like I did with the AP2s, I sold the AP2s collectively for £450. So I played with them all year and then sold them for £200 profit, which is the whole point of this channel and what I'm trying to show you guys. And I think at £250 to £300 come January, when I think it's going to get a bit desperate in the golf club market when it comes to secondary sales, come August, October, November next year, I should be able to make the same kind of profit and have a lovely set of Strixon irons. Or maybe, just like the PXG, it was so good and I enjoyed it so much, it won't come out the bag at all. But then I won't have any content for 2023, so that probably won't happen either. For you guys that think the ZX is out of your range, by all means go and look up the other alternatives of Strixon irons. In terms of performance, nothing has changed. All they've done is kind of filled in the back. It's like every other manufacturer out there copying the P790 or P770. There are great options of Strixon iron. So there you go guys, the hunt now begins to build my 2022 bag, hopefully by March sometime next year. And it's going to be a good challenge, interesting challenge, and obviously I think I'll have one of the most unique bags out there when it comes to the YouTube scene, as not too many people place Strixon in the bag. Guys, if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys there.
Morning Tom, hope you're doing well. Good afternoon mate, well done on the lesson. And
Evening Alan, not a problem at all. And
testing the G30s and the afternoon gents, on my way to the lockup. Go pick up the Mura iron.